Okay, you guys, hopefully you guys can hear me. So you're reading the title correctly. Why did Akina choose her finances and her career over a man? And I'm gonna just be honest with you guys. After watching my family members, including sisters, go through hardship with men, it just made me realize that this whole perception about love and relationships with men is a scam. Um, I'm not going to sit here and say that men are incapable of love. I'm just going to say that a lot of men simply cannot love a woman properly. Um, I realize that my life has been better when I am by myself than when I am attached to a man. Do I think that there's excellent men out here, and do I think that there's decent men out here who will worship the ground that a woman will walk on? I believe there's a very small percentage of those men. I do not believe that every woman on the planet is going to have that experience. I hate to say that. I don't believe every woman on the planet is going to have that fairy tale experience with a man. Um, Now, don't get me wrong. I grew up reading the Disney books and watching the Disney movies and fantasizing about love and all this stuff here until I actually started to see who men were and their nature and how they are with women. And I gotta be honest, you guys, it's not all cracked up to what it seems when you're talking about intertwining yourself with a man. It's not. It's not. Have I met excellent men out here? Yes. Have I met horrible men out here? Yes. Is it something that I'm gonna give up again? Like my time, my energy, and life for a man? No. When you and I guess men will say, "Oh, Akina, you hit the wall." Well, if that's what you want to say, then so be it. At the end of the day, it's not going to change. It's not going to change my perception about who you men are and the nature of most of you. I literally sit down and I watch my sisters go through hardship with the men that they're with. I watch family members who go through hardship with the men that they're with. I have an auntie right now who's been married over 20 years to her husband, and he's sleeping around with her. He's sleeping around on her with her former best friend. You guys don't have to tell me anything about men. Now, is this all men? No, but is it something that I sit down and I watch? Yeah. All of my family members will tell you Akina does not date. I actually have a couple of male pastor members, like pastors, family members in my family. They already know that I am extremely restricted. And oftentimes they will joke, "Oh, we know you're never going to get married again." They're pretty correct. They're pretty correct, you guys. Most of my family members have accepted that I'm kind of like the headstrong one in the family. I'm kind of the one who's all about money and finances, career, business. It's always been that way. It's always been that way, you guys. I didn't just wake up and choose this path. No, it's kind of like it's a path that I've already created. And I'm telling you guys, when I see the women in my family go through things with the men that they're with, including the friends that I have, two of them being, I would have to say, their marriages are extremely top notch. It's a very small bracket of women who are having these amazing experiences like you guys see. It's not the majority. It's not the majority, you guys. And I don't say that to like give you guys any false hope that there's not men out here who can properly love women. This has nothing to do with them coming from two-parent homes, single. This has nothing to do with that. I Yeah, I'm probably gonna go on mute, you guys. This is my sister and her husband bringing things here. Let me go on mute, you guys. Okay, you guys. So this is a sister that I told you guys about who was in Florida, who gave up her dreams to be with her husband, and now they had no choice but to come back. Um, I would have to say that their marriage is like 7 out of 10. You guys, I sit here and I rate this stuff. Um, you guys, I just don't have the patience. Um, I, Once again, I go out with my girlfriends who are married. I go out with my single friends who are not married. I see the difference. The friend girls who are not married are happier. They travel. I did tell you guys that I have one friend girl who is not married, who travels, and she is all about her finances and money. She is child free. She has told me she's never ever going to get married. Um, she's in her 40s, and she asked for me to like work with her in the past, and I'm like, girl, I can't travel. I can't go with you anywhere, And this is when my kids were younger. They're bigger now. So it's nothing for me to travel now to work with her because my kids are bigger now. They understand a little bit more. But the friend girls who are married, there is just a lot of restrictions. You know, when I say restrictions, it's no freedom. They don't have any freedom. So, when you're married or when you're partnered, it's it's compromise, it's teamwork versus when you're single, you can do what you want to do. Um, are there amazing marriages out there? Yeah, but it's not the majority of people. Okay, I'm just never gonna give up that again. My time, my energy, my space, my freedom. Hell, not even my home. I just can't do it again. Um, it's kind of like when you've been living with the man for a long period of time, you kind of lose yourself. I mean, if you guys are willing to give up that, then great. But there are just some of us out here who do not want to give up our freedom anymore like that, where you constantly disturb women's peace and hitting the central nervous system. And this is why women are constantly in flight or fight mode. This is why women are constantly overwhelmed dealing with you men, because you don't bring women peace. All of the constant arguing and drama, bickering and fighting. Oh no. The minute that starts with you, you gotta go. You have to go. You gotta go. You gotta go home. You gotta go somewhere. Um, I just don't have time for that. But there are just some women who love drama. They love the constant melon 24/7, and I'm just not. I'm not doing it no more. Um, I just don't have the energy, you guys. Um, when a woman has been single for a very long period of time, hard for a man to deal with her. I can tell you that. Um, when she's built her own peace within herself, it's not easy for a man to break that. Um, it's just um, and you're used to being single for a very long period of time. I'm talking 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You just don't want to give that. Don't want to give that up to anybody. You would have to be a very special person for a woman to deal with you as a man. You know, um, about dating and relationships overwhelming for me. Even thought with another human being on top of myself and my children and everything that I have to do around the day, I don't have the mental energy, I don't have the emotional energy to do that anymore. And it's just for the best to just be single for peace. I've had to say, she would look for all women to be in relationships, and be healthy men, but the likelihood of that is becoming very small based upon a couple of things. The red pill and stuff. It's really all what you ladies want to do. And if you want to still get out here and you can do that, if that's where you're mentally, you can handle all that great. I would tell anyone who's single and focus on other areas in your life, don't don't do that. Men don't like women who have nothing going on. They tend to chase women who do have things going on. Uh, I somebody like me, I don't even want to be chased by a man. Like, don't chase me. I have too much going on. Don't have time or the energy dealing with any man pursuing me. Who So if you guys are willing to, deal with all of that and take the risk, I would say go for it. Um, I think what people are learning is not everybody follows these traditional societal standards. I think that's what people are starting to learn, that not everybody wants the societal expectation when it comes to marriage and having a family. There are just some people out here, you guys, who just don't want that. There are some of us who have had that and we don't want it again, you know, especially if that relationship has been a burden for that woman or has caused her unnecessary stress. Nobody's going to want to go through that again. I think we're coming to a point in civilization where the need for relationships are becoming non-existent. It's becoming a non-factor. Women can get out here and work and take care of themselves without the need of a man being in the home. Any services that women need, we can just easily go and hire someone professional to come in and do those services. I'll give you guys an example. I had a guy contact me and he was like, "Oh, do you need help moving?" I'm like, "No, I just hired some movers." I mean, this is somebody I did not know, you guys. He just randomly volunteered to come and help me move. And I thought that was amazing that there are still men out here who do that. But I was like, no, I've already hired movers to move me here. And I think that kind of hurt him a little bit, because it's like, well, damn. But is it often that men are volunteering to help women these days? No, it's not. And I'm sorry, these chivalrous men who are out here doing that, they're not doing it no more. It's not often that these men are out here doing these things for women these days. It's not. And I'm sorry that women are at this place where we don't need you men anymore. I mean, back in the gap, we could go and ask a man to do services for us and, there was no problem. But now it's, I guess the point I'm trying to make, I barely see men go out of their way for women. Um, Open doors. And if I do see that coming from men, it's mostly from you baby boomers, you older men. And I'm going to be honest, it's not younger men out here opening doors and pulling out chairs for women. It's older couples I see still doing that. Um, I did tell you guys about the neighbor who I was outside putting some trash in the garbage, and he saw my son trying to put the garbage in there because of course, teaching my son, masculinity and how to take out the garbage as a boy, young boy. And he saw him kind of struggling there. He walked over and did it. It's not often men do that. It's not often that men help women. So, men, you're not doing those things. We're not going to expect you to do those things, right? We're not going to expect you to, I don't expect you men to do anything today because most of you don't do those things for women. You don't pull out chairs. You don't help a woman who's on the side of the road with a flat tire. You're not opening doors and pulling out chairs. You're not even taking women out on dates and courting them. You're taking women out on dates just for the intentions of having sex with them. And this is why women like me just don't want anything to do with you men of today, because you're not like men. You're not like men. I hate to say this. Most of you are not men. You're not men. You don't act like men. You don't act like leaders. You don't act like providers. Um, any services that I've needed done in my house, I just hired somebody. If I didn't have any male family members to come in and help, I just hired somebody and I paid them to come in to do it. I just paid them to come and do it. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make, you guys. It's not often that men are doing these things, helping women put groceries in the car, um, helping women move furniture. When I last moved into my last apartment, I pretty much moved everything in there. And yeah, I didn't have any furniture or anything big because the last apartment we were in, it was pretty much furnished. But this particular move here, it's going to be a big move, and it's of course it's going to require professionals to come in and move these things. At the end of the day, um, it's not like you men are actually being men of today. I mean, it's just and I'm just trying to say it's very rare for a man to step in and actually help a woman of today. Um, any yard work I need to get done, any maintenance work I need to get done, any labor services that I need to get done, roofing services, I just get on the phone. I hire a professional to come in and do it. I've just never sat down and actually expected any man of today to do those things for me if they were not family members. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news that this is just the reality. And I think women have lost faith in men being men of today because men are not doing these things anymore. There are still some men around where I live who will go out of their way to help, but it's not like romantic partners actually stepping and helping. And it's kind of like, why have a man in the home if he can't fix the pipes, if he can't fix any flooring, um, if he can't do anything in the home? Why even have a man in the home? Kind of like, why have a man in the home if he can't pay the bills and he can't take care of the household? What's the point of having a man in there? And this is where women are at. Like, why do we need you men in the home with us if you can't do anything? You can't fix a pipe. You can't do plumbing. Nothing. No electrical work. I mean, what's the point of having you in there if you can't do that and you can't pay bills and you're going 50-50? Why even have you in there? So women are now at a place we just rather be single. And this is why I've chosen my career and finances over a man, because there's just too much work in dealing with you men. And it shouldn't be that hard to be with a man in a relationship. You men make it too hard for women. And this is why women are just opting out. But of course, some man's going to come across this and he's going to disagree. Well, this is the reality, men. And there's just not enough of you who would qualify as men to begin with. So every now and then I am reminded by the universe that there are still men out here who don't mind helping women, but it's not the majority of you men. It's not. Have I had men open the door and close the door in my face? Yeah. Have I had men open the door for me out of chivalrous? Yeah. Those types of men are very small. So when you men don't act like men, you don't get respected like men. You don't get treated like men. So I did tell you guys that I am going back to class. I have my schedule for the fall, the spring, and the summer. So I only have 10 classes to do, you guys. I need to get back in the house and organize some things. Um, but I do have everything packed up, and I'm just ready to kind of like move. So going into October, I'm definitely going to be moving. Definitely in October. Um, that's the plan. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my move over with. Everything is packed up. It's just now. It's just now kind of getting. So I'm just tying up some loose ends right now. But I will get back on here later when I get done sorting some stuff out and do a part two to this. So you guys let me know what you think, how you feel, and we'll go from there in the next live. But yeah,